Welcome, welcome, welcome to Saturday Night Talk. We're in the month of May and it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So we are having a little porch conversation about mental health, what it is, what it isn't, how it affects you, and how to take care of it. We're providing a safe space for you to talk about mental health. We're going to shatter the stigma. Mental health includes your emotional, physiological, and social well being. It affects how we feel, how we think, how we react, how we deal with each other, and how we handle stress, and even how we make healthy choices. So, let's shatter the stigma and talk about mental health in this Mental Health Awareness Month of May. Over to you, Joel.
All right. Thank you, Marie. Welcome to our Saturday night talk. We are here tonight to see what it is that people want to talk about. Happy Mother's Day, Marie. I know you're a
Happy
mother,
Mother's Day.
and
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day
happy
to you
Mother's
too.
Day to everyone else. Thank you.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
tomorrow. It's
Do you
Mother's
have any
Day.
plans for Mother's Day?
Well, it's tomorrow. I don't know yet.
Yes, it's Mother's Day weekend.
Yes,
So we're celebrating.
yes. Besides a nice dinner, no specific plans.
Yes.
How about you? Do you have
Well,
plans?
I'm going to be at home. I get a spa day.
Oh,
I don't have plans other than a spa day.
but that's a
And
great
so,
plan. Self
I've
care.
been helping my face. I've been stamping. Yeah, I've been stamping my face and using my own blood serum on my face. So it's clearing up quite nicely.
Blood serum.
Something different, huh?
Huh.
Yes,
That's for
it's
another
called
show.
PHP or PBP.
Oh,
And yes, but that's what we're doing. That's what I'm going to be doing here tomorrow and enjoying my uh, Mother's Day. I think, are we
excellent.
getting a good enough reception?
Yes,
Okay,
sounds
so
good
I
to
want to
me.
say hello. I hope Okay, I hope everybody's off to a good start. As you can see, it's Mother's Day weekend. I have I'm sitting on my porch. So hopefully people will come on and talk as if we're on our back porch or on our front porch and we're just shooting the breeze, so I think it's time for us to there's a time to let many know that they are appreciated. Mother's Day, so many people don't feel appreciated these days. And so I just want people to come on. If you are on, please make sure you share this out. And you can always support my page by sending stars. So any star senders out there, happy Mother's Day to me. Thank you in advance. And to Marie, thank you to in
Yes, we
advance.
like stars.
But yes, so with that being said, yeah, I have to question, you know, getting serious on a serious note though, um, with Mental Health Awareness Month being how do we want to bring awareness to people, because I have a question. My question would be, why are so many suffering in silence? They have a hard time being open, a hard time being honest, beating around the trust. We're in a society where it's hard to trust people. So, who and how do we start bringing awareness? And it's okay because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. Marie?
Yes, conversations like these, Joel, we meet here and talk about mental health, letting people know you're not alone in your struggles. Shatter the stigma. It's okay to seek help if you identify that there's something off. Mental health is the most important aspect of your health because it affects the way you show up for yourself, the way you show up for others, even on your job. But most importantly, how you show up for yourself. Because if your mental health isn't correct, you're not going to be making healthy choices. You're not going to be making healthy relationship choices, financial choices. All the choices you make, the decisions you make, is determined by how your mental health is going on. So you got to be balanced, take care of yourself and your mental health. So if you identify, even if you need professional help, because sometimes we don't have the coping skills to deal with stress, we become overwhelmed, then you may identify you need professional help. There is no shame in getting professional help. Let's shatter the
Right.
stigma surrounding mental health. A lot of, a lot of times you hear about people committing suicide or harming others, and it ended up being people with unresolved mental health issues, and not
Yes,
necessarily
yes.
mental disease, but mental health issues that were not addressed. Jill?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And talking about unresolved mental health issues, you know, there's so many questions, and I keep saying, how do we reach out to people and how do we start the process? How do we assist people? Because surely people know that they're not okay. How do we get them to admit that they're not okay and start the process? I'm, I'm kind of confused because here I sit being open and honest, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think we give people that the pass. You can't keep giving people passes and say, oh, they're not okay. That's just who they are. That's just how they are. When you recognize that they're not in a good space, or you recognize that what they used to do is a little different from what they used to do. And so I think if we have people on, they can ask a question or talk to us about, you know, wanting to take the step, wanting tools to reduce the stress, how to, without being defensive. You see, because a lot of people, when you suggest that they need the help, they get defensive. So, how can we start implementing tools to decompress and get in a better space?
And the thing is, Joe, we can't help people who don't want to be helped, because unless you admit that you need the help, it's it's just not going to happen. We could open your brain and put the resource in, and it's not going to help. So if you know someone, and if you're listening, and you are someone is experiencing any kind of stress, any kind of mental health issues, it means send in space for that person. Bring them the resources like Jewel and I are here talking about that tonight. That's a resource you can refer them to, or anything that you know. But it's up to them when they are ready. You can't keep battering something is wrong with you, go get help, because until they're at that place where they accept that they need help, nothing will change. So the first thing is for them to admit.
But wait a minute. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Oh,
I
you're
was
fine.
just thinking about when you said that. Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, so I get that if you're like suffering with alcoholism, but mental health and the mental health, some people don't know that they are struggling until you bring it to their attention. Alcohol or alcoholism, or even the drug dependency, you know when you've hit rock bottom. But to me, mental health, you don't know that you're hitting rock bottom. Or am I missing something?
You can get to the point where you're hitting rock bottom because it affects other areas of your life. It affects every area of your life. Now, when I'm saying it's when you are ready, you can point it out to me that, Marie, you're off today, or I think you need some help. Say, for example, a sexual assault survivor who may come to me, and I can share with them, but until they accept and are ready, there's nothing, doesn't matter what resource I provide. So when you approach someone who you identify as having some kind of mental health off balance, you can tell them, but until they accept it, they won't do anything about it. You have to admit that there is a hurt or a wound before you accept the help that's sometimes freely being offered.
Well,
So
that
there's got to
is
be that
true. That
mindset
is
shift.
true. Yeah, and not only that, there's some um instances, because I've been around several who actually accepted the help,
That's good.
but couldn't get in to the doctor's appointment. So that
That's a
person,
problem.
uh, let me tell you, this is why I think the platform is necessary, because, and it can be nationwide, because some people are trying to get in and they can't get in and they get frustrated. And that causes another um, element to the equation where people decline even more. So, for those, make sure you're sharing this out. And let me do that while I'm talking, Marie. I'm going to try and share this out so people can come on and talk with us. Like I said, I'm on my porch.
Yes. And the
And
thing we
I
need
just
to
think
stress
it's
about mental
important.
health is, yeah, the thing we need to stress about mental health is to implement strategies and techniques before it gets so overwhelmed where you need professional help. How do you de-stress from your day or from your daily life? Do you take time out for self-care practices? Do you exercise? Do you meditate? Do you maintain a balanced lifestyle like diet and exercise? And when I say diet, I don't mean a diet, I mean healthy, balanced meals. You know, de-stress
Yes.
so you don't get overwhelmed. Learn techniques to help you get over your day. You may have a stressful job, a stressful home life, but if you have healthy practices, healthy coping skills to de-stress, you won't get overwhelmed. You have those tools in your back pocket to use when you need it. Like, for example, as a sexual assault nurse examiner, or when I worked the emergency room, I had a routine before and after work. I had to take care of me, otherwise, what I'm exposed to, you know, because as a nurturer and empath, I take on people's pain. When you hurt, I hurt too. So I had to have my routine where I de stress after work and my routine that prepares me when I'm going in. So, this is what I'm encouraging you if you're listening. Get the tools and the techniques that will help you before you need it, or practice it, develop, get uh, like an encyclopedia of techniques and practice them daily to prevent the overwhelm. Or if a time comes when you're overwhelmed, you've got something in your back pocket to run to. The meditation, the grounding, I'm eating healthy, I'm hydrating, I have a routine, I have devotions, my Bible study, my prayer, whatever, because everything doesn't work for all of us. We all have to identify what works for us, what works for me.
See
If you're routine,
that's good. That's good. That's good. And that's the tool for you guys. So, yeah, I think that's the thing too. The world is so busy, 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 busy that people feel like they don't even have to um, take time out for themselves. Like you just mentioned, devotion, Bible study, doing your mantras every day. But when you say mantras, okay, prayer, something positive, something
yeah,
that you can do that's going to make you feel good, something that's going to put you in a positive mindset. These are the words that we use, but I don't think people really understand how do you implement it. So that's what we're saying. How do you implement it? You implement it by doing something every day, 30 minutes to yourself, even if it's every 2 hours, every 3 hours. Shoot, some people need it all day, every day, in between what they're doing. Because I don't
yeah,
even think, you're so stressed out. That you can't function, and you got to say something positive and keep lifting yourself up instead of falling thinking, oh, the worst of everything. That's how you spiral down. You got to start thinking of positive things, even, well, let's just say start believing it. You got to start believing it. That's what I'm thinking.
yeah. And you may not have 30 minutes. Start with what you have,
Three.
5 minutes, 2 minutes, and then build up from there. I have my routine down. It's on my my daily calendar, my devotion. I wake up in the morning, my devotion, prayer, exercise. And there are some days when I don't get my exercise done in the morning, then I fit it in another time. And some days when I just don't fit it in, but I pick back up because I have a
Okay.
routine and have intentional about this routine, and I it's on my calendar. So I go through and I in the nights I journal, about my day. I find the things that I'm grateful for, and every day that's a part of my routine that I use to de-stress. I don't spend my night thinking about all the things that went wrong during the day. It doesn't matter how bad it is. I find 3 to 5 things for which I'm grateful for, and I thank God every day there is something in my day that I'm grateful for. Yes.
See, that's good. And, we have to start doing that in these times because there's so much going on that if we don't start somewhere,
Yes.
it can cause a serious problem. And a lot of people, they're so used to being busy. Like I say, it's okay to take time out for yourself. Because my thing is, who says you can't? And to keep your
Right.
mind in perfect peace, you gotta take time for yourself. You've got to turn the TV off, turn the music on, get
Yeah.
coated by Angela J. Oh, hey, Miss J,
Yeah, Miss J.
featuring
Come
Candy
on now.
Coated Cosmetics. Hello there. I'm glad you're on. Thank you.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, so there's so
And
much
even with
more we can talk
exercise,
about. What?
that's a part of self care. You don't have to own a gym membership. A simple walk.
Right.
And if the sun is too hot, you don't want to go outside, walk around the house. I've done that many times. I've walked in front of my
Yeah.
TV. There are YouTube videos about, you know, at home walking, and I've done my 3 miles, my 2 miles, and it's yes, you have to be intentional. And no matter how busy you
That's
are,
true.
sometimes the most productive you can be is being still for a few minutes. Yes,
Oh, hey, that's my favorite part. Sitting still, hearing, or just being in the moment. There was something I posted about a week ago that said, you don't have to be moving around all the time. It's okay to
Mhm.
sit still. It's okay that you are um, sitting still. You're important too. And
Yes,
that's what I like people to understand is, you know, we have to take the time nowadays to be still, to hear, and we all want to, you know, like I say we trust and believe, but dude, when you get to the point where things are so stressful, to me, that's when your faith is tested. That's when you really know that you know that you know, or do you have to work on it? Because
right.
we all have to work on
Yes,
really trusting and really believing, because it gets frustrating sometimes,
yes,
that's for sure.
yes.
Yeah.
And don't give your
um
all to your job. 60 hours a week with nothing for yourself. You know, pull back, take some to create a balance. Be intentional about creating work-life balance. I mean, that may sound
yeah,
cliche, but it's so important to show up for yourself. How can you be productive at work if you're not being productive for yourself?
for yourself, right? And
Yeah,
even though we're saying it out loud, I'm wondering if people, are they really getting that? Do they really understand what that means? I
right.
think that's the thing I'm trying to get across to people. If you don't know how to do it, it's okay to say you don't know, and look
Yes,
for
for
people like you and myself, to give them the tools, or to give them a different way to um put it into their daily task, show them how to do it, or step by step. I think more people need step by step approaches, because they're so cluttered. There's so much in the that's going on, and they're watching everything, and they're not getting the answers they need. So it's clogging and fogging their mindset. But I'm willing to help them to do a step by step, give them one technique that's going to help them. Because I
yeah.
know
Some
with
are not
my
even
clients,
questioning. Some are so busy they're
yeah,
not even asking the question. They don't. They're not thinking. Oh my God, they're not asking the questions to do. But
that makes sense, because they really asking themselves, what do I need? And you
yeah,
mentioned journaling. See, that's something I do as well. I tell people to journal, write down what you're eating, so that if you are, say, 1 week something was off, go back and look and see, what did I eat that week that's making me sad? Or what did I eat that week that's making me happy? One thing I know, if you're tired and you need some energy, you don't drink coffee, you eat avocado. You see, so do they not have the foods, or know the foods that they should be eating to give them energy, to keep them from being depressed? Sugar, we say this all the time. Sugar is not okay.
yeah,
Pasta, if it's in moderation, that's okay. But if you're eating it every day, you're eating lunch meat every day, all that sodium,
processed food.
that's not okay.
Yeah. A lot of people do not recognize that what we eat affects the way we feel. Yeah, and as Jules say, keeping in a diary, you identify the foods that are okay for you. Because some people may be allergic to avocado, or it may bother them. It's good for some people for energy. It has the healthy fats, but not everyone who can.
Mm-hmm.
So learn
Mm-hmm.
learn what your body can accept and what's beneficial for you. Spinach gives energy, but it doesn't do that for me. So I have to limit. So you just
Yeah.
have to listen to your body and identify the foods that work for you. But the foods that you eat, surely affects your mental, physical health and overall well-being. So
And yeah, and I'm thinking that too, but a lot of people, do they really know what to eat and what foods go with what? Like we all know beans and rice is protein. That we know. Because people think they have to have meat every day. You don't have to have meat every day, but beans and rice is protein. That's your meat.
yes, it's funny
I, for one, am allergic.
when I tell people I'm plant-based, they're like, "So where do you get your protein?" They're like so shocked. No, there's so many protein in plant food. I'm not deprived.
Yeah, they're shocked and they don't know.
Yeah, it's a lack of
Right. And
knowledge.
see, I eat what I want, but like, exactly. And then um, when you say that, then people get offended. It's not that we're offending them, we're just giving them knowledge to implement to their daily lives. Miss
Yeah.
J, I was gonna say we didn't even pay homage to Dr. D, who's not on today. But maybe she'll come on a little later. We only have a few more minutes, what, 30 minutes left. It'll be an hour show unless you guys start engaging or coming on the platform. If you have questions for Marie or myself,
Does
let's
Miss
talk
J want to
about
come
it.
up? Yeah. Does
Um,
Miss J want to come up?
yeah,
Does Miss J
I'm
want
not
to join us?
sure. I sent you the link. I emailed you if you want to come on. Yes. And give me 1 second, would you please? I'm going to go ahead and talk about exercise, diet, if you will. And I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, everybody. Miss Joel has stepped away for a minute. And I'm Nurse Marie, your sexual assault recovery coach. And I help women find trust, love, and intimacy in their life. And a part of what we do is learn how to care for care, teach them how to care for themselves, how to fall in love with themselves again, to take care of their mental health, physical health, how to show up for themselves, healthy eating, exercise. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so many things can throw off your mental health, like recovering from sexual assault, any kind of trauma. We be careful of the foods you choose to eat. Choose whole grains. Cut down on your oils, your refined starches, your white flour, and things like that. Your white rice. Choose whole grains, whole grain oats, whole grain breads, brown rice. You know, and keep a food diary. So you can see the foods that you can tolerate, because we know no one size fits all. So you have to identify what's best for you. What mental health or self care techniques work for you. We can share resources with you, but then you need to identify, is this working for me? Not everyone likes journaling. So if you don't like journaling, don't do journaling. Do you don't like lifting weights? Then don't lift weights. Go ahead and walk, or whatever exercise you like to do. Okay. Simply Jewel, are you back, Miss Jules? So any questions? Anyone want to join us on the platform? So we want to wish. Go ahead. Are you back?
I'm back, thank you. Yes, you know what's going on. You get people walking around, and my window's half open and I see people walking. I'm like, what is going on? So, that's just the way it is. It's a beautiful day. I think it's what is it? what's the temperature here today? 60 degrees.
Oh my God.
So,
I was
yeah,
90
people
something.
are out and about visiting people.
I envy you. It was
You were
94 my
90.
time. Yes. Yes, it was 94. It's been
Yeah,
hot all.
Florida. That's right, because you're in Florida, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
I missed the
So, what
winter
else can we talk
already.
about, Marie? There,
Yeah, you had a newspaper
you missed
article.
the winter?
Yes, I do. I can bundle up when it's
Oh,
cold. What do I do when it's
okay.
hot? Yeah.
Well, you can go swimming, but you're in Florida, so yeah, we have to expect it to be hot. Oh yeah, I had an article. Let's share that because there were 13. Let's talk about, speaking of Mental Health Awareness Month, the things that people do in the workplace and they don't realize they're doing it. So I found an article about 13
Microaggression.
aggravating um,
Microaggression.
microaggressions that people do. Yeah, and they don't even realize it. So let me see if I can share the screen and we'll talk about that for a few minutes and see if anybody can relate to that. Okay, so the cliched roles. Do people not understand that they are planting a seed in our minds, in many people's minds, when they portray us, you know, what am I trying to say? Stereotypical representation portraying Black individuals in media and literature, predominantly in cliched roles like, criminals. Can you think of a person that is typecast because they play a criminal, or athletes, entertainers? Remember uh, Tootie, she was typecast. There's so many actors and actresses that are typecast, and um, entertainers which sustain limits and harmful perception of black people. Um,
Mm.
that's crazy. What do you think about the cliched roles?
Yeah, I do see that a lot. And even in, yeah, as you say, in books and movies, um, it's it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And it does send a bad message. And I wonder, how does that affect the mental health of the actor himself or herself who is typecast in those roles? Do
Yeah,
we?
because some of them are struggling. They're struggling because JJ, Good Times, Walona, they all were typecast. Michael, remember when Michael was the smart one, and Black Power and all of that, and they're supposed to be coming back on. So
Mm,
I don't know if they're still going to give them uh, the same characters or how they're going to be. I'll say typecast for once they grow up. Or is he
mm,
still going to be like, what was he going to be, an attorney? So is he going to be
mm.
attorney when they come back? Stuff
Yes,
like
we'll
that.
see.
And then yeah, that's crazy, right? And then there's
Yeah.
another one, um, downplay, marginalizing in educational, uh, what is that? Curricula, the omission or downplaying of Black history, culture, and
Mm.
accomplishments in educational. Uh, I need to put my glasses on. That's why I
Good
can't
idea.
read.
Yeah, and it's too small for me to read.
Syllabus.
The
Yeah,
syllabus is too.
resulting right, resulting in the uh, reduce prominence and significance of Black achievements and stories. What are your thoughts on that one?
It's funny. I was at an event today, and one of the lady, she was she's an accomplished doctor, um, right? Hundreds, millions of dollars in grants, um, work in government, highly accomplished. And your friend
Hmm.
had told her family about, Dr. So and so. I'm going to say Dr. Mackenzie. Dr. Mackenzie is so accomplished. She's an author. She has written billions of dollars in grants. She has worked here, worked there, worked with Ford Motor Company and all kind of stuff. And then they met her months later, and 100% of those people thought she was white. They were like shocked to know she was a black woman. Just today, I was like,
See?
oh my God. And this lady who was talking about her friend to her family, she didn't know that that was their perception. She was just bragging about, this new friend she has and blah, 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 blah. Only to realize that 100% of her family thought this lady was white.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's another thing too, and you're right, that happens all the time because until I started putting my face on the business that I have, they didn't know that I was Black. And they always, so yeah, that is something that, people don't realize they do to Black people all the time. And if you're not strong, it can affect your psyche,
I was just
you
waiting to
know.
say that. Luckily, this lady was strong and well balanced, so it didn't bother her when they're like, "Oh, you're black," and they did say that. "Oh, you're
Yeah.
black."
You're, see, and they,
Yeah,
yeah, so that's the funny, it's funny but it's not funny, you
yeah,
know what
that's
I
not funny.
mean.
Mhm.
And here's another one: overemphasis. uh Overemphasis on differences, highlighting or excessively focusing on racial distinctions in a manner that alienates. Now, this is for real, or sensationalize Black individuals, like touching a Black person's hair without consent, or making unwelcome remarks about their physical attributes. And then I think that's all we can share for now. There's so many, but like I say, there's so many of them that people don't realize that they're doing it. Because, they'll say, "Oh, is that your real hair?" "Yes, it's my
Mhm.
real hair." They don't think your hair is that long. "I don't
Yeah,
have my braids in." And "Oh, her hair can't possibly, well, are you mixed with something?" Stuff like that.
yeah. Or
But
little
yeah,
comments people
the
make at
margin.
work. People would make comments at work. I remember one time we were in a conversation, and someone at work said something about black people, and I turned around and she said, "Oh, Marie, that doesn't include you. You're not black. You're Jamaican." Like, what
Oh,
does that
see,
even mean?
and they're just ignorant to the fact that they are ill informed. Ignorance
Mhm.
means ill informed, and they're ignorant to the fact that they're
Yeah,
not
you're not
making
black. You're
sense. And
Jamaican.
yeah, and they think that it's okay to do that. Do I need to put the screen, or do I need to put the link on for people to grab the link? I don't think I
Yes,
did that.
give it to Miss
Stan,
J so she can
yeah,
come on.
yeah, Miss J, you need to come on in the room. I'm
And
going to go
engage.
ahead and paste it, and it will be on YouTube. So you go to youtube.com/, Simply Jewel TV, and grab the link. I'll go ahead. Well, it's on there now. You can grab the link and let's talk about it. So,
Yeah.
Get Coded by Angela J says, yes, it noticed this actor Clifton Powell. He's been acting. He's been acting a
Acting a
long
long time.
time. Okay, but I noticed he's always playing a drug dealer or something. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. To do with drugs even now, and he's about late 50s now. Yeah, there's all kinds of them. The what was that one that used to play in Car Wash, and he wore those platform shoes with the fish floating around? Was
Oh,
that
yes, I
Clifton
don't remember his
Powell?
name. Yes, I remember that one. I don't remember what's his name. And we have to look to that maybe some of these
Right.
actors, that's the role they want. So we can't assume that they're typecast. Maybe this is the role that they feel comfortable in. So yeah, we're
Or
making
maybe not feeling comfortable in, but if maybe not to feel comfortable in, maybe that's the role that they gave them, and they
yes.
thought that they would elevate and grow, but those are the only roles they could get to make money,
Yeah, as
because
I said,
actors gotta
maybe. As
work.
I said maybe. Yeah, they may
Yeah,
not all
I hear
be
you.
typecast. Yeah. Mhm.
That's true. That is true. But you do notice, I think, like Angela Bassett, she just now starting to get notoriety and be able to play diverse roles. But for a moment there, she can only get certain gigs by playing certain roles. But then you have, remember, get Christy Love, or remember, what's my girl's name? She lives here. Um, she played certain roles, and she even spoke about it.
Mhm.
Um, Man, I'm having a senior moment. Uh,
We're
but she
seniors.
even spoke about it. She didn't play Chris. Yes, but she didn't play.
I'm not
Shoot,
sure who
I
you're
can
referencing.
see her, and she wore the
What movie?
afro.
What movie was she
It'll
in?
come to me in a minute. Pam Greer.
Oh, I love
Pam
Pam Grier.
Greer.
Hmm.
Do you remember Pam?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
the
So
big
see, for a
afro.
while there, she could only play certain roles.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I don't know why Miss J trying to be shy. You can come on and put your avatar on or put it up.
And we know she's
And
not
you only
shy.
have about 15 more minutes.
Mhm.
We know she's not shy.
Yes. As we said, folks,
No, not at all.
mental health includes your emotional, physiological, and social well-being. It affects how you act, how you feel, how you deal with stress, how
Yes.
you make healthy choices. So we need to take care of our mental
Yes.
health. And this is May Mental Health Awareness Month. It's a 365-37 conversation, but we're stressing it for the month of May. We won't stop talking about it
That's
after May
right.
ends, but we're stressing it for mental. So join the conversation. Let's shatter the stigma and get our mental health in order.
Right. Because it is important, and a lot of people don't realize everything you do affects your mental health. Illness starts in the gut. So, I'm going to be doing a lot on gut health in the next few weeks, because that's where sickness starts. A lot of sicknesses, diagnoses, and that's another thing I'm noticing. They're doing a lot of pylor exams these days because of the pesticides and herbicides in the foods.
Yes.
And people don't realize that they can have problems with their stomach, but it's bacterial infections, all kinds of infections.
And sometimes you can have it from childhood and it doesn't bother you, and then it flares up later on in adulthood. And
Exactly.
yes, yes. And then you're diagnosed in
Exactly.
adulthood with something that's been harboring and festering from there.
Right,
Yes,
right, right.
yes. We
And
need to come to
we always, yeah. And see, and that's the thing too, because we always say, um, yes, a conversation that needs to continue all year round, but
Yeah.
at what point do people really come on to talk all year long? Because, but I appreciate you putting the comments in. That's great. So we can filter off of that and we can expand on that a little bit more. But yeah, all year long, people need to talk about health and wellness, about food choices, even
About
to
mental
read.
health. Hmm. About,
Exactly.
about mental health and how it affects the choices that we make in all areas of our lives.
That's right. Because without your mental, it's going to be slow and miserable. And you want to, we were talking about positivity, we were talking about mantras, praying, and you keep praying until you get results, or you keep lifting yourself until you get results. Because at what point, instead of people beating around the bush, making excuses, just say what it is, because
Right.
some of us do understand. But the problem I'm having, Marie, is that people don't want you to expand. They want you to accept how they're feeling, but yet if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, at what point do we make adjustments? That's where that term growth comes from.
Hmm.
How are you going to grow if you don't make adjustments?
Yes. You got to get to the point where you accept that you need to make adjustments. So without that, the shift, you don't make the shift and you just remain stuck. So
Yeah,
the question is, how do we get them to the point where they have the mindset shift and is ready to pivot? So we
yeah,
got to keep
yeah.
having these conversations, and maybe one day that they'll get a light bulb moment. And it's like, oh,
And have that aha moment and say, I'm tired of being sick and tired. I want to heal. But with this being our last point, and then we will share how, we all have different specialties, but yet we are alike, you know, and that's why I was trying to get people to come on the platform. If we eventually will all be on where we have at least 10 people with different specialties, but yet we are all alike, as therapists or coaches, So for those, if they're serious about wanting to make healthy choices, wanting to make mental health awareness, um, take an approach to help yourself, take an approach to gain wisdom, gain knowledge, and tools to thrive. Because what's that saying? Misery loves company. You
mhm,
know, in here we are in 2024. At what point do people say, I need to work on myself? How do you got to rewire your mindset? You don't need to keep revisiting all the bad things that are happening in your life if you want to heal, if you want to be happy, if because are people just stuck? Do they really know what happy feels like? Is what, or are they really just not sure and not
mhm.
want to put in the work?
Yeah.
That kind
Sometimes
of thing.
revisiting is helps because it reminds you of where you're coming from. It's if you're stuck, then that's the issue, but
That's the issue.
revisiting, yes. So
Yeah,
it's
you're
healthy
right.
to look back and see, oh my, I've I'm thriving. Look where I was. I do that sometimes. And the power of stories, sharing your story so someone know I'm not alone who may be going through that and believe, oh my God, I'm done. I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life. So revisiting and sharing that story help others, sometimes. But if you're stuck there, then that's an issue.
And that's the term that should have gone after that. You don't need to revisit everything bad in your life if you know that it's going to take you to a place you don't want to be. But if you are growing and if you are learning, then yes, it's okay to say, because we always say, don't forget where you come from. But
Right.
if it's a bad experience, then that's what I mean. But according to your book, we'll let you talk about that in a minute. You don't want to be stuck, So, you know, we are in a time where you and I are on a platform, others will be coming. And like I said earlier to someone, let the work speak for itself. So eventually we'll get people to come on and talk about the work if they want to, because they may not be stuck. It may be helpful for them to talk about it and they can heal, from their experience, or they can go over to our Simply Healing. Dr. D and I are going to be doing the Simply Healing, but that's where you go over to the Patreon, and we're going to start adding real information on there, because a lot of people won't appreciate it just on a social platform.
Right.
But if it's in a class like setting and they're paying for it and they literally can get the tools, that's what Patreon is going to be. One of the tiers, not all tiers, just one of the tiers. But yeah, let's talk about your book, From Stuck to, is it Stuck to Limitless? I always
Yes.
there's two that I know
Yes.
about.
The
So go
memoir
ahead.
is Things That Keep Me Up at Night. That's my memoir in which I share
That
my
one I
journey
have.
from
Yes.
childhood sexual abuse to thriving and surviving. And then I have From Stuck to Limitless, a collection of 13 stories of survivors who share their story. We have veterans talk about post traumatic stress, depression, other childhood sexual assault survivors, people with diet issue, toxic relationships, post traumatic growth. So I'm Nurse Marie, your sexual assault recovery coach. And as a survivor, I now help women to overcome, to find trust, love, and intimacy in their life. Love and intimacy after sexual assault is possible. So if you're at the point where you want to find that special guy to take it slow with you and take the journey with you, I'm here to help you. Go over to sarecoverygift.com and download my free gift, and we can connect from there. sarecoverygift.com. If you're a survivor, you're ready to move on, find that special man to take it slow with and grow with you into a beautiful relationship where trust, love, and intimacy thrive, then I'm here for you. Healing is possible. I'm rooting for you. sarecoverygift.com to grab your free guide.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And you guys know I have the book. I read the book. It's a great read. And we were talking about getting it for, Mother's Day. Mother's Day is tomorrow. So I hope that you guys got your books and just didn't say you were going to get the books, but get the book. It is a good read. And then not just for Mother's Day. You can give this book to anybody. And like I said, if Dr. D was here, she has Notes from a Broken Heart. That's a good read as well. So there's so many good books. I've became acquainted with many authors. I don't know how that is, but it would be nice to have everybody on board. All the books that I've bought, I've purchased so many books to support, but
One day you're going to write
because
your book.
You
One day
know
you're going
what?
to write your book.
You're right. But you know what? I got 50,000 notebooks. I don't know.
Mm.
You can't see this,
Yes, I
but
can.
okay. These are my poems.
Wow.
I've been writing poems for a long time, and
So you
I
can publish a
may,
book of poems.
yeah, I've got poems from 2005,
Wow.
from 1998, 1995.
Wow. So you have
That
you have
one,
volumes.
yes. But one day I'm going to write a book, and who knows, but I have so many people I support, and I keep saying, oh, but now is not the time. But eventually I'll be able to sit down and write a book, or just publish them as is without it being edited. Just let them rip. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
It's good
looking
to get it
forward to that.
edited. It's good to get it edited. You don't want to put something out there that is going to bring bad reviews. So I strongly encourage writers to get a professional editor.
Really, not,
That's
and you
very
can't,
important. That's
because I
very
was thinking
important.
like, okay, because I was thinking preface, and you would just say, this is how I was feeling at that time, and I just wrote, and I was just writing stuff down. But then writers from before the Renaissance time, they wrote as is. Did you know that?
I strongly recommend you get a professional editor. You know how many times you're reading your own writing and what you're actually reading is not on the page. You just know in your head that's what you
Okay.
wanted to write and you don't see that it's not really there until someone points it
Okay.
out. Yes, happens to me all the
Well,
time.
okay, well, I can see how that happens, but I
Yes.
was thinking poetry, because some people expect you to write poetry a certain way. But just like I took this class years ago, well, when I was in school, and it was a real thick book. I'm going to look online and see if I can find that book and get it from Amazon. Yeah, but they wrote poems the way they spoke.
Yeah.
And it,
And that's exactly your good editor will not change your voice because it has to be in your voice. Right.
okay. Well, that's
Mhm.
interesting. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Marie.
Thank
Um,
you.
Thanks to the comments in the comments section. You guys make sure that you share this out. And subscribe so you'll know, because I'm going to be doing some different things in the coming weeks. But we'll see how it goes, because slow and steady. I'm just going to let it happen the way it's supposed to happen. And there's so much going on with everybody. Like I say, maybe next week we'll have more visitors coming on. Maybe we'll have people engage. I know this is Mother's Day weekend, so people are connecting, and um, just sharing and loving on their family. So it's perfectly fine. I just wanted to say, uh, happy Mother's Day to those. And what else can you say? Anything else you'd like to say on your way out?
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. I'm Nurse Marie, your sexual assault recovery coach. Connect with me at sarecoverygift.com. Download the free guide if you want to learn how to communicate effectively with a partner, how to care for yourself after, sexual assault. Now you're on the road to finding trust, love, and intimacy. So download your free guide at sarecoverygift.com. Thank you for having me, Jules.
Well, thank you, Marie. I'm glad you came on. I keep saying we're going to get into a deep conversation,
We
and
do.
we do all kinds of stuff, you know. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy,
Thank you.
happy Mother's
Oh,
Day, Miss
thank
J. Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
yes, all right. We're going to serenade the mothers. How about we do that? We
Oh,
serenade
yes.
the
Good,
mothers
good.
on their
Sweet.
on our way out. And let
Yes.
me see if I can put your book up, Marie, so that people can see um, what your book looks like. And
Thank you.
then if you guys can hear me, that is Marie's book, Things That Keep Me Up at Night. And we're going to say goodnight, and I will serenade you guys on our way out, okay?
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you, ma'am.
Yes.